Welcome back to Statistics Made Easy. A critical problem in many statistical analyses is the distinction between correlation and causation. Let's try to understand why making causal claims and inferences is so difficult. Especially in the social sciences, we often don't have controlled experimental settings and therefore a lot of confounding factors for which we cannot possibly account. In statistics, we refer to this problem as endogeneity. There are three main sources of endogeneity. Let's try to understand them using the example of whether coffee consumption leads to more happiness. The first endogeneity problem is omitted variable bias. This happens when you don't account for a variable that simultaneously affects the independent and dependent variables. For instance, if you only look at the influence of coffee on happiness without considering income, your estimates are likely to be biased because income drives your happiness because you can afford better healthcare, let's say, and it also affects your coffee consumption because you can afford more coffee. Second, selection bias. This occurs when certain individuals are more likely to be in your sample than others due to their characteristics. For example, if only happy coffee drinkers participate in your survey, how reliable is your estimate? Probably it's biased. Third, we have reverse causality. This is when the assumed cause is actually the effect. For example, happiness might lead to more coffee consumption rather than coffee consumption leading to more happiness. Now you may wonder, how can we address these problems? One way is to control for omitted variables, for example, if the data is available. Another more advanced technique is using instrumental variables, which are exogenous variations that can affect the endogenous variable. For example, if you have an organization with two departments and one department's coffee machine suddenly breaks down, this creates an exogenous shock on the coffee consumption. And we can use the variance that is now exogenously triggered by the lack of coffee consumption to predict the causal effect of coffee consumption on happiness. Addressing endogeneity is a very active field of research, and there is a constant flow of new techniques. I list a few commands that deal with endogeneity here on the right, and you can explore them using the help function in Stata. And this also includes, for example, using statistical twins to better estimate the causal effect of certain treatments on your outcome. The bottom line is, keep in mind that not all correlations are causal effects next time you look at your regression output.